Hello, my name is Ruchi, and I'm going to be the host for the workflow training today at Vetter. I would like to begin with first providing you ways to contact support. Having questions, we are always here to help. You can reach us via phone at 844-483-8837, or you can reach us via email at support@vettersoftware.com. You can also submit us written tickets via the help desk option that is available on the top right hand corner of the screen. So if you click on this blue question mark, it will take you to the help desk and you can submit tickets to us, which will come to the support queue and we can answer those questions for you. Our help desk is a great way to check your communication, ticket status, and also a knowledge base, which include directions about how to use the different sections of the software. I would like to start with the navigation shortcuts. So the navigation shortcuts you can see on the top right hand side of the screen, where you see the Vetter software demo. This is where the clinic name is going to appear. If you click on this, if you're added to multiple locations, you can toggle between those locations using this small triangle here. You can see your profile by clicking on this Vetter as and clicking on my profile option. We also have a change password option right here so that if you need to change your password, you can do that right from any screen simply by clicking on this on your name. Or if you want to just log out completely, this logout option gives you the way to log out of the screen completely. The plus icon on the top right hand side allows you to create a new patient, a new medical note, a new client, inventory item, estimate, invoice, or payment right from here. So irrespective of where you are within the software, you can always click on this plus green icon and you can create a new item just by clicking on this and selecting the appropriate option. You can check the last 10 places that you have visited within the software using this quick jump option. This is the white icon here on the top with the lightning thing. So if you were looking at a patient, then you check the template, then you check an order, you want to go back to the patient profile, all you have to do is to click on this icon and you can see the last 10 places and you can simply click on that particular thing you want to check and it will take you directly there. This bell icon is a task option that allows you to check the tasks that are assigned to you, that are assigned by me, created by me if you just want to see all tasks or if you just want to check new tasks, if you want to create a new task. This lock icon allows you to lock your screen. So whenever you see the top, okay, so whenever you like say you want to step away from your desktop, all you have to do is lock your screen, and when you come back, all you have to do is to put your password and you will be at the exact same screen where you left it. So today I will primarily be doing the workflow where I will be covering the patient module, the client, I will be discussing the billing and schedule. Let's get started with the patient profile. So the patient profile, if you click on the patients tab, it takes you to the patient dashboard. We again have the new patient option here, or you can also create a new patient from this icon here on the top right hand side. You can also browse the patient with patient names using this bar here. If you want to check active, deceased, inactive patients, you can filter them here. We also have an unassigned labs tab here that allows you to check any labs that were not assigned to their appropriate records because of several different reasons. It might be just you ran a lab, but the record was not created. They will all get parked under the unassigned. Or if you want to create a custom diagnosis, you can always click on this custom diagnosis option on the patient module, and you can create new diagnosis, or if you want to check any active or suspended diagnosis. The search bar allows you to search a patient by their name, ID, rabies tag number, or owner name. If you go to any particular patient, so let's go to a patient here. This is how a patient profile looks like once you add a patient. You can edit the patient picture, you can upload a new photo, you can print certificate, you can either email or print them via the certificate option. The print cage card option allows you to print a cage card of the patient from the patient profile. You can export, you can email or print patient file when you click on it. It opens the export option here, and it allows you to select the date range as well as what particular records you want to export. The list here will differ according to the date range that you select. So for example, right now it's the June 1st till now, but if I change the date, you will see that the list will be different. And the reason is that some of these records were not available for the date range that I selected earlier. If I want to export the whole file, I can select include all, or if you just want to export part of it, for example, I just want to send the pharmacy records, I can click pharmacy, and that way I can also, or if I just want to send the attachments, I can click on the attachments, and that way it will give me an option to just export that particular area of the patient file. The merge patient allows you to merge a patient into another patient, or if you just want to delete them, the delete option will allow you to do that. The top part of the patient profile, the left-hand side of the screen, shows the patient information where you can see the name, the status, breed, color, the gender, age, birthday, weight, and if there is a visit scheduled for this patient. The right-hand side shows the reminders for this patient. So as you may see, they're all color coded. The ones that has a green tick mark on the front, they're the ones that are most current. The yellow triangle indicates that this item is due within the next 30 days. And if it shows like a red dot, that means this item is overdue. If you see an underline within under like a given date, if you hover over it, it will show you what item has created this reminder. So if you click on it, if we come to this item, it will show us the next, what item created this reminder. Now, if you scroll down, we have several different tabs under the patient profile. The history tab by default shows the medical history of the patient. But if you click on the history tab, as you may see, we have various other options that allows you to create a new to check new communication. If you want to log a new communication for the patient, if you want to send an email or a text, if you want to create like a new diagnosis, a new diagnostic, a problem, a new record. So if you want to just add new bundles, it allows you to add multiple bundles to the patient at once. You can also, if you associate it with a particular medical note, if you want, or if you just want to create like a simple, a single, okay, 1 second. If you just want to create like a single medical record or a single medical note, you can do that as well using the record option here. Or if you just want to enter a new vital, you want to add a new weight for the patient, this allows you to do that via the new vital. You can also filter the records and see them, like if you just want to see pharmacy items for this patient, you can do that by filtering it via the view records in pharmacy, or any other type of records, you can filter them via this records option. Or if you just want to see any medical notes that are under this patient. Another important thing to see here is the snapshot. So if you click on the view snapshot option here, it allows you to see the patient snapshot, like at a glance. You can see how the weight is changing for this patient. You can see various other different vitals, the medical notes that are under this patient. Current plan basically shows any refills that are available for this patient, or if you have any other record that you have added to this patient and you want to add it to a current plan because you want to see it at a glance next time when you're seeing this patient, you can click on this plus icon and you can add this item, via this add plan item here. It also allows you to see any open diagnosis or any recent communication for this patient. The appointments tab allows you to check all patients for this patient, all appointments for this patient, any future past canceled appointments or any reservations. If you just want to see all appointments, you can click on this option, and via this calendar icon, you can see all the history of this particular appointment. So you can see who created it, if it was ever edited, what were the changes done, who did it, and when. So all the details are available via this calendar icon on the right-hand side. You can also add new letter to this patient or any new attachments via this new letter or attachments option. You can always see any letters that are already added or any attachments that are already added to this patient via the view option. And then if you click this gear icon on the right hand side, it also allows you to edit, email, print, or delete these letters from the patient file. The notes option allows you to create a note for this patient. So you can create any profile only note. That means that these are the notes that are that you want to keep on the patient profile. You can always check those profile only notes by coming to the patient profile and clicking on view notes under the notes option. Or you can create a pop-up. Pop-up, it might be something that is really important. You want to be aware of that every time you're seeing this patient. So you can just add a pop-up, and then that pop-up will show, as you may see on the top right hand side of the screen. A good thing about the pop-ups are you can always exit out of them, and if you want to see them again, you can simply refresh the screen and they will reappear. You can check all relationships of this patient under the relationships tab. You can, if a patient has like multiple owners, you can even select a primary by selecting assign as primary, and that way you can change the primary ownership of the patient. Or if you just want to add new relationships, you can simply click on your relationships tab and you can add new relationship for the patient. The reminders tab allows you to check all reminders that are available for this patient if you need to create manual reminders. So manual reminders are helpful if you want to just create a reminder for this patient, or if you have a patient who is coming from another clinic and you want to have, say they already have received a booster of a vaccine, and you want to go for like an annual, you can simply create a manual reminder for that item for annual vaccine, and that way a reminder will be emailed and it will be added under this patient file. If the clinic is using wellness plans, you can see all the different active wellness plans, any auto-renewed, canceled, or expired plans for this patient under the wellness plan tab. If you want to enroll this patient to a new plan, you can do that as well via the enroll in plan. If you select like a plan here, it will list all the wellness plans, and you can select whichever wellness plan you want to enroll this patient to. You can even select if you want it to be renewed automatically or not, when you want it to start, if you want to have like it auto build, when you want it to be auto build, and also for production purpose, you can select who enroll this patient into this wellness plan so that it can be tracked. All the tasks for this patient can be seen under the tasks option. So you can see any open and progress or completed tasks for this patient under the tasks tab. You can even create a task. So for example, you're seeing this patient, but you want to have certain medication administered to this patient before they leave the clinic. You can create a task for your technician or another staff member, and you can even choose when that item is, when this task is going to be due. A good thing about this task is that they will see that a task is due by having like a small red blinking dot on their screen, and they can mark it as complete to indicate that they have completed the task. Or if they just want to communicate to something to you, they can simply click on that task, click edit on the right hand side. So let me show you how we can do this. So for any task, any like active open task, you will see like a gear icon on the right hand side. You can click on edit task and you can edit whatever you can want to communicate and assign it back to the person you want to. So for example, if I click on edit, I want to assign it back to, say, Lou. So as you may see, I assign this task to another person, and they will now see that a task is due for them. And they can decide what they need to do, what action they need to take for that task. Moving to the client's profile, client's module. So you can click on the clients on the top and you will be able to see the client's module. You can create a new client by clicking on the new client option, or you can also do that by clicking this icon here on the top right hand side of the screen. You can search a client by their name, ID, phone number, email address, or you can even browse them via name. You can always check your active clients or inactive clients by clicking on this on this clients list here. Another thing that I want to point out to you is if you are on the patient profile, you can always click on the client name and it will take you directly to that client's profile. You can upload a client picture using the upload option, or if you want to edit the client profiles, if you want to make any changes, for example, I want to exempt this client from late fees, or if I want to change the status, or if I want to add any additional discounts, I can always edit it and make changes to it and then click save it. And that will save the changes that I made. Or if I just want to merge this patient or delete it completely, I can use these options on the top for that. By default, on the client profile, it shows the patients that are related to this patient, to this client. You can always delete a relationship using this gear icon here on the right. It will also show the balance that's due for this client on the very top right-hand side of the screen. And the last visit, what reminders they are enrolled in. Are they receiving email reminders, phone reminders, mail reminders? You can always make changes to this information via the edit client option here on the top gray bar. Now, the Documents tab is just like as it was in the patient profile. You can add new letters, attachments. You can view the existing ones. If you want to email, print, delete any existing letters, you can do that via the View Letters option and clicking the gear icon on the right. The most important part of the client's profile is the billing. So the Billings tab, if you click on it, will give you all the billing information about this client. You can view credits if you want to check any estimates. You can do that. If you want to check any invoices, are there any open invoices, are there any paid reopen invoices, or if you want to see all the logged invoices for this patient, you can simply filter these different options and look at those invoices. If you want what payments were made by this client, you can click on the view payments option. Any refunds that were done, any returns, or any write-offs that were done for this patient, all these can be, that information can be checked via the Billings tab. You can even export the account statement via the email or print option here. So it will allow you to check, like select the date range that you want to generate the statement for. It will also allow you, if you want to include the transaction details and the supporting invoices, or only the unpaid supporting invoices, and that way you can email or print that statement for this client. You can also create a new estimate or invoice for this page for this client via the new transactions option. Although these options are also available via the plus green icon here on the top right hand side. Now, if you create a new invoice, you can always put the client name. So for example, selecting this. If I want to have like a medical note associated, I can. If I don't, I just can leave it like this. If I want to have like a medical note, a bundle associated, I can do that. Click next. Will show me the list of items that are within the bundle that I selected. I can choose the ones that I want to add. Click save. And it will add these items to that estimate or invoice that I created. Okay. All right. And as you may see, we have this item added now. And this is for this client. It has all the information. What is the account balance? What is the subtotal of this? If there was any tax that was applied, what was the total? You can always export the invoice. You can or an estimate. You can like email it or print it. Or if you want to apply a discount, you can click on the discount tab, select the discount that you want to apply. You can even write off the invoice, or if you want to delete it completely. If you just want to make any changes to a line item, you can always click on the gear icon here on the right hand side, and you can edit the item, decline, or delete it completely. Now, if it was an estimate, you will also see an option to approve the estimate and convert it to an invoice. Okay. So if we go to the client profile, okay. So, and then you can check all communications for this particular client under the communications tab. You will be able to see any emails, mails, or if you have logged any communication, any emails or any communications that were logged for this patient. You can send an email, or if you want to just send a text, you can do that as well using these options. It will not only show the communication, but will also show the status of it, if it was open, if it failed, if it was sent or not. You will also be able to see all that status here in the under the status option here. Appointments tab will allow you to see any future past canceled appointments or reservations for this client. So if this client has multiple patients and they have appointments for different dates, you can check all that information under the appointments tab of this client. The reminders date again will allow you to see all the reminders that are there for this client as well as the patient. So if this client has, say, multiple different patients, you will be able to see the patient name here as well as the item for which the reminder is due and when it is going to be due. And when was it last sent? Notes, similar to the patient profile, you can always view the notes, any active notes, profile only or pop-ups. If you want to create a pop-up or a profile only note, you can do that via the new notes option. Tasks again allows you to check any open in progress or completed tasks, or if you want to create a new task, you can do that via the new task option here. Okay. Another important thing, coming to the billings tab. So if we are under the billing, if we click on the billing tab, it takes us to the billing dashboard. And as you may see, we have several different options here. We can see all the invoices. We can see any unpaid invoices, paid, reopen invoices, or I just want to create a new invoice, I can do that from here as well. If I want to see any estimates, all approved, converted, open estimates, or if I want to create a new estimate, we have that option. Any payments can be seen under the view payments tab. You can again click on the icon here on the right hand side if you want to email a receipt, print, or text it. Returns can be seen under the view returns option. In progress posted returns can be filtered here using these options. Or if you just want to create a new return, you can click on the new return option. You can select the client name here and you can click save to create a return. Now, once a return is created, let's see if we have any open returns. So for example, we have this return. We can always add item to it. It will allow us to add only the items that are already purchased by this client. So once you add that item to a return, you can post it and it will allow you to select if you want to do a refund or a credit. So in this case, if I want to say create a credit of $2.26 on the client profile, as you may see, we posted the receipt. You can now a return. It will even allow me to email or print it in case if you want to give you want to export that information about that return. You can create a credit using the new credit option, or if you just want to see all existing credits, that can be seen under the view credits option. The icon here on the right hand side even allows you to convert it to a refund, or if you want to add it a credit, or if you want to if you just want to see all the refunds, you can see them via the refunds option. All the refunds display under the refunds tab. Again, it allows you to edit, or if you just want to convert it into a credit, you can do that via this gear icon on the right hand side. All the write-offs can be seen via the write-offs option. You can see the write-offs, or if you want to create a new write-off for a client, you can do that via the new write-off option. The cash reconciliation, if the clinic is using cash, You can create new reconciliation. You can put the starting balance for the day, the ending balance for the day. If you want to put any notes in here, you can do that. Or if you just want to see all, you can click on the view reconciliations option and see those details. Going to the schedule. So on the schedule tab, as you may see, we have so many different options that are available on the top. The appointments tab allows you, if you click on the appointments, it allows you to view appointments, you can print appointments, or you can email appointments. Very useful, especially for mobile clinics, because if you want to just print out the appointments for the day, you can do that using this option. It will not only have the patient name, the client name, but also the address information, which can be useful when you're on the road. Also, you can see via Census all the different appointments that are there, as well as the status of the appointments and all the other information that is associated with it. If it is checked in, to which column this is assigned, what is the time of the appointment, what is the complaint, the patient information, the client, if there is any medical note associated, any invoice estimate associated with the census. Also, if you click on this calendar icon, it gives you all the details about the appointment, who created it, when was it created, and by whom. The treatments tab allows you to check the treatment board. So if you want to, if the clinic is using the treatment board add-on, you will be able to see the treatment board via the view board option. Once you are on the board, you can admit a patient using the admit option. If you just want to add a new activity to an existing patient that is already added on the board, you can just click on the add activity. And as you may see, it's loading up. Okay. It will list the patients that are added on the board. You can select for which patient you want to add the activity, what kind of activity you want to add. If there is a medication that you're prescribing, you can add the patient, the medication quantity, and you can put in all the information. When is it going to be due? Do you want it to start after some, like, say 15 minutes of the treatment, or an hour, or a day, if you want this to be repeated or not? It has all the different options that you can configure according to your requirement, and you can add the activity to the patient. Also, if you just want to add a new bundle to a patient, you can do that. All you have to do is to click on new bundle, and it will allow you to select that bundle for that particular patient. The reminders tab on the schedule takes you to the reminders summary report. It lists all the patients that are due for the date range that is listed here. You can always filter this report via the filter option. You can select the type of reminders you want to see. So I only want to see email reminders between the date range of June 1st to June 30th. I can do that. I want a specific categories, or if I want all the categories, you can make a selection and it will filter this report for that selected date range and according to the filter options selected by you. Also, you can select or unselect any of the options that are showing here, and add an action to print cards for the selected, or if you just want to resend the reminders. The complete selected means that those reminders are completed, and so they will be marked as complete. So we need to be careful in case if you want to delete or complete the reminders. You have these options available, but we need to be extremely careful while using these two options, whether we want to complete them or whether we want to delete it completely. The export option allows you to download this report, or if you want to simply print it, you can do that as well using the print option. Going back on the schedule, we have different columns here that are created by the clinic. You can schedule an appointment by clicking on the column. So if we click on this, as you may see, you can select the different appointment types that are available. These are the appointment types that are created in your settings. And depending on the type that you're selecting, if you have a color configuration done in these settings, it will display that appointment with that particular color as well. The time will be showing according to according to the time that you have selected for that particular appointment type. You can put the complaint here in the complaint section, the client information. Depending on the client that you're adding, you can even add a new client from here. So if it's a new client that you're adding, you can directly add them from the same screen by clicking on add client option, and you'll be able to add them directly. If it is an existing client, then you can select the name. It will display the patient that is associated with this client. If it is a new patient that you want to add to this client, you can click on the add patient, and you can click the add patient option, and you can add a new patient right from this screen without exiting, right from here you can add it. Once you do that, so I want to say select this patient. I can select the date, the time. You can make changes to it if you want this appointment to be repeated, or if you just want it to be a one-time appointment, you can do that. Clicking the next option will display this client's information. So if you want to make some changes, so for example, it's an existing client, but they changed their address, you can do that right. You can make changes to this client's information right from here. You don't have to exit, go to their profile. You can do everything right from the check-in screen, from the appointment screen. You can make changes to the address, to their phone number, email address. If they want to change their reminders preference, you can do that as well right from here. And then click next. As you click next, it will display the confirmation message, the reminder message. You can select, depending on their selection, how they want to receive a confirmation or reminder. If you want to make changes to it, you can select that as well and click on the save to save those changes. Once the appointment is scheduled, as you may see, it will show the patient information, the client name, as well as the complaint. And if you hover, it will also show you the status via this small icon in front of the patient name. If you hover over the appointment, depending on the configuration, if you have selected that option in your settings, it will show all the appointment information here. It will show the status and all the information. You can even change the status by clicking on it. If you want to cancel it, confirm it, or check in, you can do that. And as you may see, the status now changed to confirm. Also from the same screen, you can check in. So if it is you can select the provider here. You can even edit the complaint if you need to. If you are adding like a patient weight, you can do that from the same screen. If you want to print any letters at the time of check-in, if you want to edit the patient to the treatment board, so you can do that from the check-in screen as well. If you want to add, if you're admitting a patient, if it is a simple appointment, you can select do not admit. If there is a medical note that you want to associate to this particular appointment, you can select that medical note. If you also want to have like a bundle added, it's all your choice if you want to do this or not. Or if you want to have like say, I want to create a new invoice for this appointment, I selected everything, cross-checked again, click next. So because I selected the bundle, it displayed all the items that were on the in that bundle. I can select the ones that I want to add to that invoice and save. So now the status changed to check in. And if I click on this or I hover over, sorry, it is checked in. It's showing me the medical note that is created for this appointment. It's also displaying the invoice that is created for this particular appointment. You can always undo a check-in, duplicate the appointment, print a cage card, or check the appointment history via the history tab. If I go to this particular medical note for this patient, as you may see, it has the patient information on the top. It has the patient reminders on the right-hand side. You can edit the profile. You can even export it, email or print. You can duplicate it. We also have this appointments tab that allows you, that shows that it was booked, when was it checked in room, Once the appointment is complete, you can even click on the visit complete so that on the front and on the schedule, it will show that the visit is complete. Or if you just want to check out the patient right from here, you can do that as well. You can even log the note after you have put in all the information. Once the medical note is logged, nobody can make changes to it. Although you can still add amendments on the medical note via the medical note option. Or if you want to delete it, you can do that as well. Now, once, okay. So I want to add some information. It's time. Save it. Okay, I added some information to my medical note. I can even add a snippet. If there are existing snippets that are there for the medical note, I can use hash codes as well if I have already added hash codes to my snippets. If I want to add some records to this particular visit of this patient, I can do that. Or if I want to add new vitals or diagnostic, I can do that as well. Let me show you now. Everything on the medical note saves real time, so you don't have to keep clicking save. As you're typing, it saves everything for you. So say I wanted to add a record of an item here. And give 1 tablet to, what is my patient's name? Cookie. Save. So I added a record for this patient for this appointment, and it will show under the records tab. So there were 2 items that were added during this appointment. One I added via bundle while at the time of check-in, and then I decided that I also want to add this medication for the same appointment, and they will all show under the records tab. Now, I want to also add a letter to this patient, so we can do that. If I click on the letters on the documents tab and create a new letters, it will allow me to add a letter here. You can add the information, and as you may see, I have this letter. Now, I do not want this information. I delete it, and I want to add the medical records that I have just added. And if there are any vaccination, no, we don't have any vaccination, so let's remove that. So prescription and save. And beautifully, it will add all the information about the record that you added. Now, once it is added, I want to email it. Well, I can email this letter directly from here, and I can email it to not just the client, but to any contacts or clients that are added in my list. So you can email it, or you can print it, or you can delete it if you accidentally added the letter. You can even lock it. So all these options are available. Now, going back to the schedule, okay. So when I'm in this patient, if I go to the invoice, also, I wanted to point out we have this appointments tab under the invoice as well. So it's booked, it's checked in. I want to mark that the visit is complete. You can do that from the medical note as well. If you are under the medical note, we have the same option. And now if I go in the front, my receptionist will see that the visit is complete and the patient is ready for checkout. Now, if we click on checkout, It will display all the due amounts for this client. If there are any credits available, it will show under the credits tab. I can select how I am accepting this payment. So I'm taking it as a credit card. If there are any documents that I want to print at the checkout, I can. If I want to email them or print them, I can make all those selections here. So I don't want to export anything and check out, and the visit is complete and the patient is checked out. You can also see the schedule for a week. So some clinics like to see like the appointments or the schedule for a week in a glance. These options allow you to do that. You can even use these arrows to check different weeks or days. Or if you just want to go for today, we can click on today so that it shows today's date. Okay. Now, going back to the billing, if we were on the invoice, on any invoice, this is paid. I will go ahead and remove the payment so that I can show you. Okay. So if we have an open invoice, we can always accept payments to that via the payments tab. You can check any existing payments, or if you just want to add new payment, you can do that. If there are any credits available for this client, they will auto-populate in the credits field. You can select the type of the payment, any documents that you want to include or export, you can do that. You can select if you want to email or print it and save. And that will add the payment to this invoice, and you can always again export it. You can email it or print it. If there are any existing credits, they will all show under the credits tab. Now, you can always email print receipt via this icon here, or at the time of adding the payment as well. You can like add that option to export a receipt while you're adding a payment. When the invoice is open, if you want to add a credit, you can directly add that credit from within an invoice. You can click on new credit option and add it, or if you just want to see any existing credits, you can use the view credits option, and you will see the what is the amount of credit and if there is any balance that is available. Any returns that are done by the clients are going to show under the returns tab. Anything that is declined by the client will show under the declines tab. If there are any late fees that are being charged, they will all show under the late fees tab. On the schedule, we also have this boarding option. So for the clinics who use boarding, you can always check your boarding reservations via the view reservations option. You can print your reservation list or email it using the print or email options. You can even print the boarding forms, whatever form you have set up for boarding, you can select it here and you can print it. If we go to the boarding module, if we click on view reservations, it will take us to the boarding. So I'm sorry, it's a little slow. Here I can select the date range that I want to see the boarding for. If I click on any open slots, I can book a reservation for a patient. I can select the room. I can select the client name. And again, it will be the same way. I can even add a new client from here, or I can select a patient, or if I just want to add a new patient, just like on the regular schedule, we can add. I want to check in on the 19th. I want to check out on the 25th. If I want to put any notes and confirm. If I want to send like a confirmation or reminders, I can do that. And it's done. And as you may see, They are all different colors. When it shows blue, that means this patient is, this appointment is scheduled. If I check in, you can always edit it, check in or cancel it. If you click on the check-in option, as you may see, it allows you to select the form that you want to print, and it will show all the information as well as the invoice to which this boarding thing is being invoiced, the quantity. And as you click on the check-in option, the color of that changes so that you can visually know which patients are checked in, for which the reservations are scheduled, and which ones are checked out. So now it's green. And if I check it out, if I check out the patient, or if I want to extend the stay, we have this extend stay option that you can utilize. Or if you simply want to undo the check-in, or if you want to check out, you can do that as well. Change the date. And it will change into gray. You will even get a message depending on your action. Okay. So as you may see, it's now showing as gray because this patient is checked out. And you can always see your week in a glance by selecting the date range here via this option here on the top right-hand side. Just wanted to touch reports as well before we wrap up. So reports module shows the different reports that are available for us. I will touch the reports that are used on a day-to-day basis briefly. So we have some important reports, for example, the rabies summary that you can use to check the patients who have received rabies vaccines during a selected time period. Now, most of these reports, they can be exported, downloaded, or printed. We have this under the communications, the reminders detail report. This is the same report that you can also pull from the schedule. Under the billings tab, we have the end of day reconciliation, which the clinic can utilize because this table basically summarizes the amounts that are billed, payments that are received, write-offs recorded, and returns recorded by the type of payment. Very useful report. Some of the other reports that might be useful as well is monthly billing summary, monthly payment summary. We have a lot of good reports that the clinic can use for their billing purposes. Under the inventory, if if the clinic needs to access information regarding the inventory, we have all these reports available under the inventory module that you can use. Purchase from supplier, inventory summary if you want to check like a list of all inventory items and their prices. Also, we have the task summary report that allows you to summarize the number of tasks that are created and completed by each staff member during the selected time period. Again, if the clinic is using wellness plan, all these reports under the wellness plan, new enrollment by staff, enrollment summary, new enrollments, all these reports allows you to have a good access to all the data regarding wellness plans that the clinic is using. Once again, the number to reach us is 844-483-8837. You can also contact us via email at support@vetsoftware.com.